Hi everyone, Mike Palmer here. Today I'm delighted to welcome Jessica Locke back to the Together for Good Google Tools demonstration series. In today's video, Jessica shows us how to set up an event planner in Google Sheets. I think you'll find this easy to understand and helpful in your teamwork. Let's get started.
Okay, so the next tool that I'm going to share is Google Sheets. And again, this is available in Google Drive, drive.google.com, for anyone with a Google user account. So when you go to that website, you have the options on the left here. We're going to click New and Google Sheets. So this is what pops up. Is basically is an Excel spreadsheet. If anyone's familiar with Excel, it's a grid, and in each of these boxes you could type information. There's a ton of features that help you to like calculate numbers or to add all these different things in Google Sheets. But for right now, we are just going to be looking at how to create a table for an event tracker. So there's actually a lot of templates that are built into Google Sheets. You can see here, this pops up on the right-hand side where it says tables. If you don't have that already on your sheet, then you can go to Insert and Tables. Oh, and then that will pop up. This is what I'm looking for. So it has all of these preset tables. What we're going to select for right now is event tasks, because that's pretty much the most common thing that we use in Indivisible, is like planning events and actually tracking all the tasks associated with them. So I highlight that and then click Insert. And this is what you get, is just a template for a table. And it has task, status, owner, stage, due date, and notes. So these are, pretty good headers for a starting point, but they are flexible. You can change them. So for example, stage might be kind of like a weird or unnecessary column to have. I can change this to, let's say I want to change it to a checkbox. Okay, so when I actually do the task, I want to check off that I have done the task. So I'm going to change that to a checkbox for now and just rename this task completed. So the way that I would use this is, for an event, just start brainstorming what all the tasks are for an event, right? So pick a event title, create an agenda for the event, decide on a venue, reach out to the venue owners or managers. Mike, what are some other ideas that you have for planning an event?
Yeah, decide who's going to come.
Who will come maybe to speak?
Yeah.
And then how will we promote to attendees? Maybe hire a photographer, maybe share out to media. Okay, so that's a good starting point for event tasks. And then this status section is already created, so the options are not started, in progress, blocked, or completed. Those are pretty good standard options for tasks. If you wanted to add or remove any of these from the drop-down menu, you click on this arrow here where it says Edit. And I could say another status might be, need to ask for help from someone, and click Done. And so now that option is added in the drop-down, and I can select that. All of these tasks right now, I'm going to say, are not started yet. So the way that I copy this to other cells is by selecting this little blue dot down here at the bottom right corner of a selected cell and just drag them down. And I copied them all immediately. So there's a lot of shortcuts in Google Sheets and Excel that just make it easier to kind of, manipulate and copy and duplicate data. In the owner section, the owner column, this is actually a really cool feature. They're called pills. So this is a name pill. And if I start typing here, all I have to do is actually select the cell, and it comes up with all these names of people who are in my contacts. So let's see if you pop up. I'm going to do @ and then Mike. And there you are, Mike at winbeforetrial.com. I can select you. And so you're the owner of this task now. And that makes it really easy for people who you tag into here to see like, oh, I've been assigned to this task. It's my job to, create an event title. And that's automatically connected to your email address. And it just makes it very easy for people to collaborate and be tagged in and be accountable for the tasks that they're assigned. The due date, we're going to say you need to pick an event title by tomorrow. So all I did was click that cell and a calendar comes up and you can pick any date. And then we're not going to add any notes here. And when you're done, you can hit the task completed button. I'm going to pause there. Do you have any questions or features that you think would be useful that I didn't go through?
No, I think you've covered everything that I would want for something like this. My only question is, I'm assuming that you can do something similar or almost like this in Microsoft Excel if you have access to that and want to use it. Is that correct?
Yeah, you certainly can. Microsoft Excel has a lot of the same features. I'm not as familiar with the collaboration features on Microsoft Excel. If you're just using Excel on your computer and it's not in the cloud on the internet browser, then it's not a collaborative function. So other people can't be tagged in there. You can't view it in real time with someone else. So that's what makes Google Sheets really nice is it's free and you use it from any internet browser and anyone can look at it if you share it with them. The features for sharing are the same. So we talked about in the other video, if I wanted to share this with someone, I have to name the title first. So event planning template, save that. And then I'm going to add you, Mike before trial. You're an editor. I'll say, hello, this is an event template. Please collaborate with me. And hit send. And then you will get that. You could jump on here and you can also work on this with me. The other thing we talked about was adding a comment. So I'm going to select you as the owner here and do insert comment and just say, hi, Mike, please note that I tagged you in for this specific task. And then hit comment and you will get, I believe, an email or at least some notification that I commented on this document and tagged you into it.
So no, this is really very helpful. I guess one question I had is it possible to create, let's say under the create an agenda for the event, is it possible to set that up so that there are sub rows underneath that relate to that particular item?
That's a good question. So you can always add new rows under it if you right click and say insert row below, or you could add another column to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say create an agenda for the event. I'm going to categorize that into logistics or if you wanted to make the agenda planning a broader category, you could also do that. So, say this is agenda, and then maybe I would change this to decide on the time frame, and then add a couple more rows that are also related to agenda. Drag that down. Pick purpose for the agenda, decide on sections of agenda, maybe circulated around to organizers. So that's an easier way to have sort of broader categories and then tasks within. And if you wanted to look at just the agenda categories and filter everything out that's not related to the agenda, you can click on the drop down here and do sort column or filter column. So sort just means puts it in order. So it grouped all of the agenda items up here. And filter, I can actually say, show me only the agenda items. And so now I'm just looking at the tasks that are related to the agenda. So this is really useful when you have 100 tasks on here and you just want to look at maybe your section, maybe the things that you are assigned to. Maybe you want to filter by only the tasks that are not completed yet or the tasks that are do this week, you can use the filters to kind of condense the list so that it's not so overwhelming.
That's very nice. I just wanted to say as a comment, there are many project management tools available, from the somewhat easy to use to the somewhat very difficult to use. They generally have a lot more complexity than this. They have different ways of showing the information in boards, in lists, in different forms, and so forth. But my experience has been that the learning curve for those kinds of tools can be daunting in some cases. This seems to me something that most people could get up to speed on within half an hour to an hour if they are already familiar with using a spreadsheet like this. If you're not familiar with this kind of software, it would take you longer, because there are things that you would need to learn to be able to navigate around it. But if you have a general familiarity, you should be able to pick this up within 30 minutes or an hour anyway. And it gives you a tool that gives you a great overview of what's going on. And as Jessica just said, you can share it with others and they can collaborate on it. So I'm really glad you showed this to us.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. I think this is a really valuable tool for people to use. And, people have their issues with Google for whatever reason, but I think the Google suite of tools is so useful because of this collaborative aspect and because it's all under one umbrella. There's project management tools, there's Canva and stuff for images and more creative activities. But I think just having Sheets and Docs and Google Forms and some of the other things we'll go through under one umbrella makes it really easy and kind of a seamless integration with, what people are already using.
Thanks again, Jessica, for walking us through the basics of Google Sheets for event planning. This is the second of a 3-part series on Google tools that can help social action groups and teams of all kinds organize their communication and collaboration for greater effectiveness. In Part 3, Jessica will show us how to use Google Forms to collect information and conduct polls. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mike Palmer. Thanks for watching.